your pelvis in neutral, they say to the person who has no proprioceptive or body awareness. Yes, I've been on both ends of that, so let me help you out. One of the first things for proper breathing is pelvic placement. That's why there's a lot of focus on pelvic placement in this particular deep core session, and it's all a progression. And so here's the thing, I can show you all of this about what it means to have a neutral pelvis, but that doesn't tell you how it feels. And I can tell you that your pelvis should be in neutral when you're doing all of this stuff, but again, that doesn't tell you how it should feel in your body. You can't look in a mirror, 24/7 to see how our body is positioned. In order to be able to tell when the pelvis is in neutral or other position, you have to know how it feels. Having an understanding of proper breathing and deep core muscle engagement can really help with that connection in a number of different positions, sitting, standing, lying down, etc. Hence this deep core workout. Another important thing to note, where's the diaphragm? Well, this is our actual diaphragm and it is a muscle. As you can see, it sits right below our lungs. When we talk about diaphragm breathing or proper breathing, belly breathing, what we really mean is breathing below the diaphragm, meaning that we're activating the movement below the diaphragm as opposed to breathing in our chest and activating the movement by lifting our chest. By a host of reasons, increases oxygen intake, increases the amount of carbon dioxide that we expel from our body, which is responsible for alkalizing our blood, actually responsible. This is why the very first move in this deep core workout is lying down or sitting down and breathing at a natural rate of respiration, but properly, meaning below the diaphragm. The clip I'm about to show you is the first move. It includes all of the cues that are given, which will elaborate on a lot of what I have just said, or illustrate, maybe both. As I said in the previous video, these kinds of cues, we have to build them on in layers, and so this is sort of the first layer. The videos for the next 2 weeks will have an additional layer of muscle, mind-muscle engagement connection cues. Here is resting belly breathing. Let's get started with reclined or seated breathing. Lie down with your knees up, soles of your feet on the floor about hip width apart, or sit with your back against the chair, feet flat on the floor. First, let's get a literal feel for neutral pelvis placement here. Gently push your low back into the floor or chair by slightly scooping your pubic bone toward the ceiling while keeping your hips connected to the floor or seat. Don't scoop so much that they begin to lift. This right here, that solid connection from low back to hips, is a neutral pelvis position. This is where we want to be most of the time. Since we're all beginners here and safety is most important, grab your blanket or pillow and wedge it under your hips to help get your pelvis into neutral without having to do that active scooping. This will protect your lumbar spine while letting you focus on muscle engagement elsewhere. Start to bring in awareness to your breath. Just breathe at a normal pace through your nose if you can. As you inhale, fill your belly first. Feel your low back push a little further into the floor, and slowly exhale, feeling your low back gently lift a bit as your belly falls toward your spine. Continue breathing this way, inhaling the belly out and letting it fall on the exhale. Keep your jaw loose. You can place the tip of your tongue between your front teeth to help keep you from clenching or straining. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Now that you've seen that, the next one I'll show you is move 2, which is diaphragmatic breathing. And just like this one, before I show you the video with the cues, I'm going to give you an overview of the muscles that are actually part of the deep core with visuals of how they work together, help tie things all in. Someone else had commented and said moves 1 and 2 don't look very different, but I promise after you see this and then the next video, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. Why am I doing these one at a time? Because look how long this is. Happy breathing.